One thing we have been thinking a lot about in the last year is how GTM systems are being built today. Most teams now operate across multiple tools. There is a tool for CRM, tool for enrichment, tool for outbound, and eventually a lot of time goes into managing these systems instead of executing the GTM strategy. But we are starting to see a shift now. Teams are now moving from stitching tools together to building systems that can identify and make decisions and trigger actions automatically. If you are new to this channel, we are Ames Consulting Services and we primarily work with companies on building GTM systems, right from enrichment to outbound workflows. And today we are going to walk through a tool called as nRev AI that is trying to solve this problem. And we'll walk you through how it works, how workflows get created, and where I think this tool fits into the entire future of GTM stack. So let's get into it. Now, when we start with the platform, it looks something like this, wherein it gives us multiple options in terms of what do we want to do with it. Do we want to build lists? Do we want to research accounts? Do we want to automate LinkedIn outreach? And what other things do we want to do? What I did to start with is I asked it to explore all of its capabilities. So I'll just open that entire chat conversation to show you how it started out. So as you can see over here, the first input that it took was to understand my company by inputting the company website. When I did that, it understood the complete ICP. Now, a lot of tools like Claude or any AI tool that you see wherein you feed in the website, they will give you this sort of an output. But the most interesting thing over here, instead of just giving me the company overview, what it did is it understood what are the different tasks can it do based on that. So it defined that, see, these are the possibilities of what I can do for you, right? From say doing an ICP targeted prospecting to enriching that data and then running an outbound system for it as well. It asked a few questions as to what would I want to do. So say we are a GTM consulting and implementation partner. So do we want to do this activity for our own company or for our client? It was able to identify that as well. So in this case, say we would want to do it for our own company, and I wanted it to save all of this details to its knowledge base. So what it offers over here is a knowledge base wherein you can store all your company information related to say the ICP, the competitors, and what are your product offerings. So this gives a particular one place where the AI can fetch all the data from related to your company. Going back, what it did post that is it tried to understand the complete ICP and planned that, okay, if I want to build a pipeline, then these are the things that I would want to do, right from say setting that entire process of finding the target companies, qualifying them as per certain signals, then finding the relevant buyers or relevant target audience in that particular company, and then saving that into a complete data set. So what it did initially is it gave me a test output that this is how it looks like and this is how it will work. Next, it asked me whether I would want to enrich the emails of those profiles as well, and if you can see here, this is how the output looks like. Finally, when it came to automate this entire flow, so if you see, one aspect over here was data enrichment, which it did through AI. But if I want to do this recurringly, then I would want to create a workflow. Now, majority of the time, what do companies or what do teams do is that they have their data coming in from one place, then they have a workflow created on Anytime Meek or Zapier to continuously do that, enrich that data or clean that data, and finally you get that output in an Excel sheet. What this platform does is it's giving me that option that I can automate that entire workflow here itself. So when I actually click on automate this workflow, what it did is it started a new AI chat wherein I'm able to build that entire workflow. Now over here, as you can see, this is how the workflow looks like, and when I click on build with AI to see the previous conversation that I had, so you can see that this is wherein say it took in the complete input, it understood the ICP and started creating the different nodes. It created a scheduler node that every day it needs to run, or on a week it needs to run at a particular day. It told that, okay, first you start with searching the company, then the people, and then you add that data to a Google Sheet, or if you want, you can directly input that into the CRM. So over here, I did not have to do anything. All I had to do was just click on automate workflow, and it created that entire workflow for me. And parallelly, what it does, it tests that entire workflow also to see whether it is working or not. So there happens a lot of back and forth over here to figure out, configure different setups. And if you see over here, nowhere so far I have added any other tool. So far it is running on its own. In the backend, it has all the tools integrated. The only integration that I had to do was with Google Sheet and Gmail as an account. Finally, what it did is it asked me whether I would want to go ahead and build an outreach workflow as well. So that is wherein it set the entire process for building that entire outreach workflow. And finally, if you can see over here, I have that outreach workflow created as well. Now, beyond say just creating the ICP, setting the workflows for data enrichment and for doing the outreach, what else does it offer? So it has a place section where it has created multiple playbooks for different use cases. Say if you want to prep for a meeting, or if you want to monitor sales activities, or you want to track LinkedIn engagement or the LinkedIn outreach, all of those things you can do over here. They even have a use case for zero touch CRM where they are automating the entire CRM updates as well. Overall, I think tools like this are interesting, not because they replace operators, but because they compress the time between, say, signal to action. And that's probably where GTM is heading. So if you want us to break down more AI workflows, GTM systems, RevOps setups, and practical use cases, subscribe to our channel, that is Ames Consulting Services. And if there is any other platform that you would want us to test, drop it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.